So yeah, we'll continue from what I was saying. So now to solve this question, there's actually formula for this, right? We have a formula for x coordinate and we also have a formula for y coordinate. So let's say we have uh, which is this is supposed to be x here, yeah. So the formula for this is uh, cx is equals to sigma, like this when I mean sigma sign, this is the sign I'm talking about. This guy, you understand? This sigma sign, but I can't get it here, so let me just get it myself as a picture, so that whenever I want to use it, I'll let you say, okay, so let me paste it here. Okay, so the formula is sigma. This is the sign. This sigma now is equals to uh, it's going to open bracket, and then we put v1, right? Uh, vi minus vi multiplied by xi. Sorry, you want to say something?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay. What? Where did you get the Is that x minus coordinate cx?
What was that? This one?
No, the one on top.
This one?
This x, yes,
This x? Where do I get
yes.
it from?
X. Is that x minus coordinates?
No, this is x. I'm talking about x coordinate and y. See, you have an x coordinate and y. So there's a formula for each of them. So I'm just saying this is, so we are getting, I'm just trying to write the formula for the x coordinates. Then we'll see, I'll write the one for y.
Okay,
Do you understand?
okay.
So it's not x minus coordinate. Let me just remove that this thing. So the formula for this is now, so I'm just trying to get the formula so that when we just get the formula, I'll just substitute. So let me start a line here. So that is to say it's going to divide by that thing on there. Divide in this line to somewhere here. Yeah. So that means what is here is going to be divided by summation of what? Vi. So this is shifted. Understand? So this is the formula. So when you talk about VI, the I here is just like an item, right? So you have the X1. So this is X. The XI means X1, X2, X3, X4. That is what the I is representing. X1, X2, X3. So this is like X1, X2, X3, X4. That's what it means. So since this is the formula, now we need to actually solve this issue. So the X1, the V1 here, the VI, right? So the VI here is just the volume or the weighted or the width or the demand at the market what I. So this is what they're talking about, the volume. VI is the volume for each of these, this one, two, three. So the XI is the X coordinates of the market. And then the Y, the so we'll go to the next formula, right? So for the Y now, this same formula that we have here, right? We'll just copy everything that we have here, use it again for Y. So instead of X, uh, we now have vi uh, times y x and yi. Let me just write it. So you see, for coordinate y is now equals to, let's bring the same formula here. It's supposed to just do copy and paste. So I just see it clear. So this is summation of this is just a formula. We have not started solving yet though. So this is going to be ai multiplied by y I, right? So this is now going to be divided by, this is now going to be divided by summation of bi. So so this is what it's going to, this is the formula. Just write the formula like that. So the next thing now, let's try to organize the data. So since we now have this, right, we are going to put this here. Now this is going to be our market here. So we can have more space. So we have market here. Market, the next one is going to be the volume. And then we now have our X and Y, right? So, but then, we already have this. This is already here. But I just want to bring in the data so it will be, can be using it. So this is London, and then we have the Kingston, then we have Barrie. Okay, so the volume for this one 600, 400. So this one 3, 6, 2. Then this one is 2, 3, sorry, 4, 4, and 6. So I want to do this for, so now therefore we want to get the value for our x for our x coordinate. I mean, so we need to find v multiplied by x. So we already have our x here. You get, so let's do v multiplied by x. V multiplied by x for this guy. So we want to just focus on x. So I want to do v multiplied by x. So what are we going to get? So that is, so what all we need to do now is going to be this 600 multiplied by 1. This is what we get. So this is this times this, it will give us 600. So we do the same thing for all. Then this is what to get. Do you understand? Because we want to input it here. The summation of this is what we are looking for. So after we have done this, we now do summation, right? Then if we do summation of that, now it's going to be 600 and what was that? Summation of that now is going to be 6,700. Okay, that's what we got for that first one. So that's the answer. For that is just to get the upper one. Then what's the summation of what? P. So the next thing is for us to get we can also do the same thing like this for what? For VY times Y. So Y, what? Y is supposed to be 2 just, I just want to say this is y, and then put these values. So with this, we now want to do v multiplied by y, right? So we now have equals to this times a y, right? It will give us this. Then this is what we have this one. Then we do summation of this one. We have this. Okay, so that's what we have. So now, what's the summation of what? So now we want to get the summation of v. So summation of v is this. Is equals to this. So this is what we get. This. So now we just do substitution. So for the first one, we are going to do this. We just substitute the values now. So let me get the answer. Just substitute. Okay, remember the formula. So we are going to come here to do substitution. So here, what we have, this was for x, have we? So it's just going to be the 6,700 divided by 2,350. You get? So this will now give us, so this is what we get. We need to reduce the decimal point to be like this. So we now, for the y, we are going to do the same thing. So here, the value we have is 9,800 9,800 divided by 2 3. So it's 4. Okay, that is 4. So now what we have done now, right? The site. So this is, we have calculated this, and from this, and now the answer for this question now is our new site will be located at the coordinate of 2.85. So I will, from there now, they will now tell you where the location, that where it's going to be. So now this is, we have already, this is, we have calculated, we have gotten the coordinate 1 and 2. This is the coordinate that we have gotten. For x side is going to be this, and then for y side is going to be this. So we can set a new facility, uh, or the new facility should be, or will be, should be is okay, should be located at coordinates 2.85 and 4.7. Okay, so now these are the coordinates that the site will be located. So if you look at this now, right, how how are we, so the question is, we want to determine where the new site should be located to minimize the total transport, right? So note the selected point in the middle of each region is representing the regional market. Do you understand? They note that the selected point in the middle of each region is, so this is where we are going to base, where we're now going to select the point that is actually close to where we are. The way, this is where, this is what we use here to determine where the site should be located based on these locations. Do you get? So now, but we find 2.85, right? Now, if you look at this now, right, this location represents the optimal point that minimize so that that minimize the total transportation, or when we want to consider the volume of goods shipped to each market, and the distance that is going to the distance from the each of the market. So this all these locations are the market region. These are the market that we want to consider. Understand? So if you look at this coordinate 2.85 and 4.17, it actually puts towards the highest market, which is what this market here. The volume of this market about 800. Do you get? This is 800. It actually it pushed towards this market 800 here, because if you look at this now, this is sorry, someone said something. Hello, are we still together, or I'm just talking to myself?
Yeah, together.
Are
We
we
are done with that question.
okay? But are we understanding? Like, are we following?
Yes. Are you done with that question?
No. Yeah, we have gotten the like that is the answer, right? But I'm just trying to like from this answer now, right? On this, because we already solved and we have gotten the answer. That is the answer. This is the answer for this question. This is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just like trying to explain to based on this now. We look at a location that based on that table that the market that are giving to us, which where does this coordinate actually falls? Do you understand now? That's what I'm trying to see how we can find where the coordinate fall on that. But that
Okay.
is to solve from the example, what they ask you to do, that is just what they ask you to do. When you put these formulas, you get the equations. Once you get this, you substitute and you get the answer. And this is the answer for the question.
Okay.
Okay, I think someone said it's Toronto. So why is it Toronto? So that we can understand. That person can talk.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
like the final answer we got, we have coordinates 2.85 is closer to coordinate 3, and coordinate 4.17 is closer to coordinate 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I chose Toronto.
Those are two coordinates. So I guess it should be two.
That's for X and Y.
That's for X and Y.
Okay, okay.
So
Is it
and yeah,
is it
and
correct or not?
yes, the person is actually correct.
Okay.
Now it's correct because there is this coordinate falls within. If you look at 2.8, 2.85 is very close to 3, right? And this market actually it falls, it's like kind of the middle market that can reach all this market that are is kind of in the middle of all this other market. So if you put the market there, if you now put the side there, you can easily get to the other market based on the calculations and the coordinate that we have gotten here. That's what it means.
Okay.
So that's just this is just one calculation question. And but the calculation here, like the for exam purpose, when you write this, you can go ahead to write that just the way the person did to just say to but this is what they ask you to solve to get. So when you put it here like this is where the question ends. You solve and you got this and you stop there. So
Okay, sorry, I have a question.
okay.
Yeah, my question is, are there any other methods that we can use to get, like, find the location?
Yeah, there are some other questions that it depending on the method they ask you to use. You understand? There are some method that you don't have to use the center of gravity. There are some method that there are some questions in that about the new facility, finding new location for a facility that they will just ask you to consider some certain things like maybe the proximity and the cost of trans. So they will list all those things. So they ask you to like calculate. I think there's a question like that it's down that we can. I think we can see that question too. But this one, the method they ask you to use, they say use the center of gravity method and the information below to solve. So it's based on the method they say you should use it. But some other question, there's some other method that you can also use to determine a new facility based on some certain requirement.